Saturday night in Los Angeles, a wrestling show at Knokx Pro turns into chaos. What was supposed to be a stage performance spiraled into real violence. In the center of it all was Rampage Jackson, son of MMA legend Quinton Rampage Jackson. August 23, 2025. Knokx Pro Wrestling was hosting a live event, broadcast on the streaming platform Kick. Independent wrestler Stuart Smith, better known by his ring name Syko Stu, was preparing for his match. But just before the bell, something unusual happened. Smith struck Raja outside the ring with what appeared to be a canned drink. The crowd cheered, believing it was all part of the show. Minutes later, tensions exploded. Raja, a 25-year-old professional MMA fighter, stormed into the ring. He lifted Smith above his head and slammed him violently onto the mat. Smith appeared motionless. Raja then mounted him and delivered heavy punches to the head. The punches did not stop until other wrestlers pulled him away. Viewers on the Kick stream were stunned. What was supposed to be entertainment looked very much like a real fight. Reports later confirmed that Stuart Smith was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Eyewitnesses described him as unresponsive immediately after the attack. No official medical update has been released, but the footage has circulated widely online, fueling debate about whether the attack was scripted or real. In wrestling, the word work refers to a staged fight. The goal is to create the illusion of combat without causing true harm. But this was different. Quinton Rampage Jackson addressed the situation publicly, explaining that Raja had been struck unexpectedly earlier in the evening, and that organizers allegedly told him he could get his payback in the ring. Rampage thought it was all part of the act, but what played out was far more violent than anyone expected. Rampage admitted bluntly, it was bad judgment. The UFC legend then revealed something even more troubling. Raja had suffered a concussion in sparring just days before the event. Despite that, he was placed in a situation that involved physical contact. Rampage wrote, "Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler. He had no business being involved in an event like this. I don't condone my son's actions at all." Then, speaking not just as a fighter, but as a father, Rampage continued, "I am deeply concerned with my son's health and with the well-being of Mr. Smith. I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern now is that Mr. Smith will make a speedy recovery." Rampage concluded with an apology directed at Smith, at the streaming platform Kick, and at the wrestling community. Meanwhile, reactions from the wrestling world came quickly. Sean Ross Sapp, a respected wrestling reporter, confirmed that Raja's participation in the show had been planned, but the intensity of the punches was not. He wrote, "Raja Jackson knocked the person out, ring name Syko Stu, and followed up with a lot of heavy punches which were not planned to do that kind of damage." The wrestling community expressed outrage online. Some blamed Raja for losing control. Others blamed the event organizers for allowing a concussed fighter into the ring in the first place. The discussion spread rapidly, raising larger questions. Should crossover appearances like this be permitted? And where does accountability truly lie? Knokx Pro Wrestling, the promotion behind the event, is not just another independent company. It is a wrestling school with WWE identification status. That means it has official ties to World Wrestling Entertainment, offering support and development opportunities for talent. This makes the incident even more serious. WWE has not commented, but the association places Knokx Pro under intense scrutiny. A chaotic incident, serious injuries, and an untrained participant crossing into a performance ring, all of it under a WWE-affiliated banner. For Knokx Pro, the consequences could be significant. For Raja Jackson, the consequences are personal. His actions have placed his young MMA career under an uncomfortable spotlight. Instead of making headlines for his athletic ability, he is making headlines for an attack that crossed the line. As of now, several things remain uncertain. Stuart "Syko Stu" Smith remains hospitalized. Raja Jackson faces criticism from fans and insiders, though it is unclear if further disciplinary action will be taken. Rampage Jackson, a legend of the UFC, is left in a difficult position, supporting his son while condemning his actions. The story is not just about a violent outburst. It is about blurred lines between combat sports and performance entertainment. It is about the dangers of concussion, the responsibility of promoters, and the thin line between showmanship and recklessness. This was supposed to be a moment of crossover entertainment, where a mixed martial artist could bring real intensity to a pro wrestling show. Instead, it may mark a turning point in how such crossovers are handled. The wrestling community is waiting for updates on Smith's condition. For Raja Jackson, the incident may follow him for years to come. And for Rampage Jackson, once celebrated for his knockouts inside the octagon, the headlines now concern his son's actions outside of it. In combat sports, the line between reality and performance is always razor thin. On that night at Knokx Pro, the line was crossed. The result was a work gone wrong, and a wrestler left seriously hurt. This story is still unfolding. All eyes are now on Knokx Pro, on WWE's potential response, and on the recovery of Stuart Smith. The questions remain: how could this have happened? Who bears the responsibility? And what happens next for Raja Jackson? Only time will tell.
Until then, one thing is certain: real life sometimes hits harder than the show.